Well, we're back for lesson 9 and 10, and I hope this has been useful to you. And as I oftentimes suggest, remember, we're trying to discover what it takes. This is a challenge course. It's not that I want you to learn from me, accept me, and agree with me. That's not the kind of teacher I am. And in fact, what I'm teaching you is something that I'm learning about and sharing with you. And it's not that I'm advocating for or against Donald Trump in any particular way. That's not my deal. It's, again, what can I learn not only from the man, but what's going on, from the phenomenon. Remember my saying, which is I'm seeking to understand the times and what's going on so that I can better figure out what I need to do. One of the, hopefully, a little smiles that I get from people from time to time is I tell them that everybody needs a Bugs Bunny in their business. You need to have a Bugs Bunny. And, of course, I'm trying to get them to say, well, what do you mean, a Bugs Bunny? Well, that long-time legendary cartoon character was known for an expression in which, in kind of a smart-aleck way, he would say, "What's up, Doc?" And what's up? What's going on? Oftentimes what we need is someone who looks at what we're doing and says, "Why are you doing that? Have you thought about it a different way?" Or, "What's up? What's going on?" And oftentimes that's a good way to start over and say, well, what really is going on? What really is up? And do we like that? Or how are we going to adjust to that? And even though we cannot in any particular way know the future, we can begin perhaps to have not some strategic plans. And that's another class which I don't even know if we can do strategic planning anymore. Things are so volatile and things are so changing. Like I said, all of those people who had the election campaign figured out got it wrong. They were poor strategists. It went differently than they expected, and all of their plans had to be readjusted. And some of them lost out because they couldn't adjust fast enough. So that's what I want you to think about as we go into now number 9 and number 10. What I want us to understand is that Donald Trump will tell you this about success. And this is kind of hard. He will say that once you are successful, they'll come after you. He's very clear about that. That success breeds, certainly, a lot of people who want to follow you, and certainly it breeds those people who want to try and take advantage of you and who want to hang on and cling on, the sycophants who just follow along. He says, but you will attract people who want to do poorly by you. They want you to fail. They're going to attack you. They're going to criticize you. He said, life is tough. Now, some people will point out that life is difficult. But more than that, to understand Donald Trump and the level that he operates in, and I found this very, very true, that many of the tests of the characters that I have found myself admiring are those people who understand that life is a shark tank. And how do you swim with the sharks without being eaten alive? How do you swim with the sharks and the snarks and the snakes that are out there, who your success, they see that and they find it threatening, or they find they can take an advantage? How can you keep your soul and keep your character? How can you be a person of love and compassion in the midst of the times where you're going to be attacked, where you're going to almost be terrified by other people, where you're going to have to deal with the people who are very unhappy or don't like you and will come after you because of who you are and what you believe in your success? And I can say that some of the people who, again, as I say, I really admire, are those who are savvy enough to learn how to not be taken advantage of by those kinds of people, but at the same time they have learned how to keep their own integrity so they don't become what they hate. And that happens a lot. I remember talking earlier in my career, one of the things I discovered is somebody was going to leave their company and start a new company because of what they saw in the present firm and situation they were in. And I simply said to him, be careful, because in your new venture, it's very easy for you to be so focused on what you dislike and what you hate that you might even find yourself becoming what you dislike. That's what he said. He said, what? About 3 days later, I got one of my first consulting assignments because he said, that really struck me, and I don't want that. So would you help me create something new and different, and not something that is based on what I learned and what I discovered and what I had to deal with in my past situation? Number 9, when you are successful, life will be, business will be increasingly difficult in many, many ways, and you will be attacked. That's why Donald Trump is used to it. If you think that you're going to attack him in some way and it's going to hurt him, it will not bother him. He deals with it. And perhaps we need to learn how we deal with those who criticize us and make life difficult for us. Number 9, we can learn that from the Trump deal. Number 10. This is fundamental to me. I am now saying that every CEO should change their title from being the Chief Executive Officer to the Chief Education Officer. I believe that every company needs a teacher. Nothing happens until somebody sells something. You've heard that? Nothing happens until somebody sells something. Let me tell you, nothing good happens until somebody learns something and teaches others. Businesses grow because people are open to what's going on, they learn from what's going on, and they seek to be teachers. If you want to be successful today, decide that one of the things you're going to be is a teacher. In fact, you're going to do exactly what I do. I'm going to give another course on one of the best ways to enhance your career resume is to be known as an online teacher. You can point to several courses on one of the major platforms and say, I'm a teacher. I know this. I can understand it, I can simplify it, and I can teach it to others. By the way, Donald Trump, whether you like him or not, is a teacher. He actually had what he called Trump University, which was simply a business enterprise in which he spoke and which published and printed the books that are like this little one here. I sat in the office waiting for my wife the other day, and I read through it, and there were little tips and quotations that taught me things, not only about Donald, but also about me and about my life. If you want to be successful today, you can learn that you must be a teacher. Be a teacher. Seek ways that you can learn and then teach others. That will be one of the keys to success in the future, that you will be a teacher leader. Again, something we can learn from what's going on.